Heather Cameron had recently turned 28 years old when she mysteriously vanished on August 18, 2012. She was last seen in the company of her ex-boyfriend, Daniel Lusby. Heather told her family that she and Daniel were headed to Keswick Dam, a remote area located 20 minutes outside of Redding, California. Around 2:50 p.m. that day, Heather called 911 3 times from Daniel's phone from the Keswick Dam area. She told police that she had been drugged with heroin and needed assistance. An extensive search was launched in that area, but no signs of Heather or any sort of suspicious activity were found. Daniel Lusby has been formally interviewed numerous times since Heather's disappearance, but has still not been charged with anything related to the case. When investigators asked why Heather had called 911 from his phone, Daniel told them that she took his phone from him, walked off, and never returned. That phone has never been recovered. Police still consider Daniel to be the primary person of interest in Heather's disappearance. According to Shasta County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Brian Jackson, he is still a person of interest, and this case is still open. There is still information we are trying to corroborate. Heather's family acknowledges that Heather struggled with substance abuse. However, they do not believe she is voluntarily missing. She left behind 4 children who she always made time to see prior to vanishing, and her family does not believe she would abandon them. Daniel, on the other hand, has an extensive criminal record and was allegedly abusive towards Heather throughout their relationship. Heather's family are also Grand Ronde tribal members. They believe that domestic violence played a role in Heather's disappearance and are hoping to raise awareness about domestic violence against Native American women. A report from May 2016 states that 84% of Native American women have experienced violence in their lifetime, including sexual, physical, stalking and psychological aggression. For more information on this issue, visit here. Additionally, there is a $5,000 reward for any person with information that leads to solving Heather's disappearance. If you have any information that could help, please contact the Shasta County Sheriff's Department at 530-245-6025. Jackson Miller vanished at the age of 19 on May 15, 2010. He left his family's Cupertino, California home that day and drove his car to the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Jackson parked his car around 4:10 p.m. that day. He left his wallet, cell phone, and iPod inside the vehicle. Jackson's family inevitably feared the worst once they learned his car had been abandoned on the bridge with his personal belongings inside, especially because he had recently been suffering from depression and anxiety due to medication withdrawal. However, surveillance cameras on the bridge did not capture any person jumping that day, nor did any bodies wash up on shore. In the days following Jackson's disappearance, there were a few possible sightings of him in the Fisherman's Wharf area. These sightings were never confirmed, and the case seemed to go cold after that. Then, nearly 4 years later in 2014, a Lake Tahoe resident contacted the police and stated that Jackson had been seen numerous times in the South Lake Tahoe area. The police announced that the caller seemed very confident that this person is Jackson, but unfortunately the sightings have never been confirmed. Years have passed since the possible Tahoe sightings, and Jackson still remains missing today. News about the investigation into his disappearance is very scarce. At a certain point, his family members theorized Jackson might have been staying in a homeless shelter in the San Francisco area, but it is unclear if they still suspect this. The Santa Clara County Sheriff's Department is primarily in charge of investigating Jackson's case. If you have any information that could help the investigation, please contact them at 408-808-4720. You can also contact the South Tahoe Dispatch at 530-542-6100. Jeremy Howard, 19, vanished from La Jolla Cove in San Diego, California on December 24, 2015. Jeremy is originally from Seattle, Washington, but 3 months before his disappearance, he traveled to San Diego to stay with his sister and brother-in-law. He was reportedly scheduled to fly back home to Seattle on the day he vanished. Jeremy disappeared at some point between 5:30 a.m. and 6 a.m. He and his brother-in-law were at La Jolla Cove together, watching the waves and looking for the seals. At some point between 5:30 and 6 o'clock, the brother-in-law stepped away for approximately 10 minutes. When he returned, Jeremy was gone. He has never been seen or heard from again. Due to the fact that Jeremy vanished so close to the water, it was originally theorized that he fell in. However, many extensive searches of the water near the cove turned up no sign of him. After those searches ended without any clues, Jeremy's loved ones started to believe something else might have happened. His sister explained to reporters, "The water me for the first couple of days, but after so many dives, there's only so far you could have went within a few minutes. If you did fall in the water, or someone would have seen you." Jeremy is described as 6'4" -6'5" tall, which makes it more likely for him to have been spotted if he was in the water. It was also theorized that Jeremy might have run off. His family members do not believe this to be the case. His sister said that he depends on his family a lot and it would be uncharacteristic for him to take off without warning. His sister also stated that there were no issues between Jeremy and his brother-in-law, who he was with shortly before he vanished. A few days into the search, it was announced that police were searching for a witness who might have been present around the time of Jeremy's disappearance. Police described the witness as an older white man, about 5'7" and 150 pounds with short, straight white hair. He had a small, white fluffy dog and was driving a white Ford Explorer. It's unclear if investigators ever identified or spoke to this witness. Jeremy remains missing today. If you have any information that could lead to his whereabouts, please go here to submit an anonymous tip. 16-year-old Carly Goose disappeared during the morning hours of October 13, 2018. She was last seen by her family at their home in Chalfont, California rural area in Mono County. Carly's stepmother Melissa Goose told authorities that she last saw Carly laying awake in her bed around 5:30 on the morning of the 13th. Melissa herself dozed back off to sleep after that, and when she woke up again around 7:15 a.m., Carly was gone. All of her personal belongings, including her cell phone, were still at the home. She was reported missing later that day. Carly's family members later learned that 3 neighbors might have seen Carly walking through the neighborhood between the hour of 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. According to the stepmother, one neighbor was quite certain that they saw Carly that morning, while the other 2 neighbors were not entirely sure because they had never met her before. However, all 3 neighbors provided the same description of the person they saw to police. One of the neighbors stated that they spotted someone who they believed to be Carly on the corner of Highway 6, located about a mile away from her family's home. When the news about Carly's disappearance began to circulate in the media, it was reported that she was last seen walking near Highway 6 around 7:30 a.m. The original report from the Mono County Sheriff's Office on Carly's disappearance also stated that Carly may be disoriented. There was no further elaboration on that statement, which caused a lot of speculation amongst sleuths and commenters on the Sheriff's Office Facebook page. Carly's stepmother Melissa later explained to news reporters that Carly had admitted to smoking marijuana while out with her boyfriend and a few friends on the evening of October 12. When Melissa picked Carly up around 8 p.m. that evening, she said that Carly acted paranoid and seemed disoriented. Melissa stated that she attempted to calm her stepdaughter down. She even slept in Carly's room with her that night to make sure she was okay. That explained how Melissa knew that Carly was laying awake in her bed at 5:30 a.m. the following morning. It is believed that Carly left the home sometime between 5:45 and 7:15 a.m., while Melissa had fallen back asleep. If the neighbor's potential sighting of Carly around 6:30 a.m. was in fact Carly, that means she likely left her house sometime between 5:45 and 6:30 a.m. Due to the fact that the stepmother Melissa is currently the last confirmed person to have interacted with Carly, speculation has inevitably fell upon her. At this time, Melissa has not been named as a suspect, but various sleuths have expressed a disbelief in her statements. Many found it odd that Melissa told police that Carly was last seen wearing skinny jeans, while the witnesses who potentially spotted Carly that morning stated she was wearing sweatpants. Melissa later clarified to Nancy Grace that she only said Carly was wearing skinny jeans because that was what she often wore. She explained, "I only said that because she always wears her skinny jeans. So I just assumed her had her skinny jeans on." The witnesses who might have seen Carly stated she was wearing dark gray sweatpants, a white t-shirt and Vans shoes. A massive search for Carly, which included scent dogs, helicopters, foot patrol and off-road vehicles, turned up no clues to her whereabouts. As months passed without any clues to Carly's whereabouts, the case grew cold. However, suspicious against Carly's stepmother, Melissa, has continued to grow stronger. One of the more prominent theories is that Carly passed away of an overdose inside the house, and her stepmother and father covered it up. This has not been confirmed by investigators, and it is unclear if they have looked into this possibility. A $10,000 reward has been offered for any information about her disappearance. If you have any information that could help, please contact the Mono County Sheriff's Office at 760 932 7549, option 7. For 15 years, LaRoya Nate Bray has been classified as a runaway. At the time of her disappearance, LaRoya was a 10th grader at Crenshaw High School in Los Angeles, California. However, the 15-year-old was getting ready to transfer to her new school, Dorsey High. According to those who knew her well, LaRoya was a vibrant personality who had no problem speaking her mind, but she could be a tad coy around strangers. On March 26, 2003, LaRoya's mother's fiancé alerted LaRoya's mother, who wasn't home, that he couldn't locate the teenager. When LaRoya's mother returned around 11 p.m. that evening, LaRoya still couldn't be found. She was immediately reported missing, but because police believed she left by her own volition, she was listed as a runaway. To this day, police still don't believe she is an endangered person. LaRoya has never been seen or heard from since. In the early stages of the investigation, it was reported that LaRoya was seen by a witness standing in front of her apartment building near Arlington Avenue and Adams Boulevard. It was stated that she was with a black man who was described as being 5'83" tall with a medium build. This information was later revealed to be incorrect. At the time of her disappearance, LaRoya was 5'93" tall and between 130 and 140 pounds. She has brown eyes and brown hair, but when she went missing, LaRoya had dyed her hair a golden blonde color and had braided extensions of the same shade. She has double piercings in her ears, bushy eyebrows, and a long, narrow scar on her upper left thigh. She also goes by the nickname Lala. LaRoya was wearing a red fubu shirt, a white tank top, white socks, an imitation gold herringbone chain necklace with a V-shaped pendant, and gold earrings, hoops and studs. She's known for wearing headscarves. LaRoya would be 33 years old at the time of this publication. Anyone with information regarding LaRoya's missing person case is urged to contact the Los Angeles Police Department at 213-485-2585. Please share this story about LaRoya Nate Bray and the mystery surrounding her disappearance. She is out, sister, and her life matters.